6ix9ine just ruined Steph Curry in one move. Holy. Yo, 6ix9ine has been going on a generational run right now, bro. It's like every time I just hop on the internet, I just see 6ix9ine, 6ix9ine, 6ix9ine. And whatever this is about Steph Curry's wife, I mean, I would never even imagine 6ix9ine and Steph Curry, especially his wife, in the same sentence together, but hey, apparently something happened. So hey, let's see. Video was by O'Shea Duke Jackson, by the way. All right, let's get straight into it.
The relationship between Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry is definitely polarizing, but it wasn't always like that. At first, Ayesha Curry was the kind of pick-me wife, staying at home, never wearing revealing clothes, and doing whatever she could to show Steph some respect. But ultimately, that did change. And it changed dramatically. We started to see Ayesha Curry go from being a big-time supporter of Steph to resenting him in real time.
Yeah, I mean, man, every time I see a Ayesha Curry clip, she's always like embarrassing Steph somehow, like indirectly or extremely directly. And I don't know if she's just oblivious or if she does it on purpose, but it's kind of sad because Steph, from what I've seen, he never really said anything or has done anything to embarrass her, on the other hand. But her, on the other hand, she always seems to be embarrassing Steph anytime she gets on camera for some reason.
And statements like this were red flags.
Something that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that, yeah, like there are all these women like throwing themselves, but me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention.
So wait, so you're looking for male attention as a married woman, and your husband is Steph Curry, one of the greatest players of all time, with 3-pointers. Right. Okay.
So here you have a woman complaining that she doesn't get attention from other men, but she wants it.
Right.
And then Kevin Samuels had to get on her.
She married a guy that she thinks she's better than. And honestly, she's jealous of him. She's jealous because I'm sitting at home, pumped out 3 kids, and he's on TV every day. He's getting all the fame. He's getting all the red carpet treatment.
Do you guys think that it's a bit of jealousy there? And that's why she's the way that she is when it comes to, you know, just when it comes to her being interviewed. Do you think she knows deep down that the reason she's even being interviewed anyway is because of her husband, not necessarily because we find her interesting?
Getting all this, and only time she gets attention is attention that he deflects to her. We wouldn't know about Ayesha Curry if it wasn't for Steph.
True.
He tries to put her in the spotlight. He tries to put her in front and center. And guess what? If she had what it takes, she'd already be there. And that's what's not being told.
Woo! Now, Kevin always had the gift of bringing things out to the open that some of us wouldn't have thought about. And he says it very clearly. If she was really that chick, she would already be on, but she's not. And you're upset that you're not on. And then even now, as you've seen in the past with some of her interviews, she's talking about how she regrets being, you know, a wife, a mother. She had other things that she wanted to do. And, well,
it's healthy. It's healthy to, in front of a bunch of strangers in a public setting, to talk about how your husband just kind of doesn't get it and how it's much harder for you to not have been able to pursue your dreams that were literally only that, dreams. Like there was nothing in your reality that looked like you were about to be in the trajectory of becoming a C-suite executive.
I mean, Ayesha Curry, she's like the definition of enough is never enough. She's married. Of course, I'm not saying every woman wants to be married, obviously, but she's a married woman to a successful man, a loyal man, or at least from what we've seen from the public, we've never seen Steph in any scandal or any allegation, as like 90% of celebrities, male celebrities, usually are. So from that point of view, he's loyal, successful, has kids with you. You're married to him. You're the first wife and the only wife. But yet, still, it's not enough. Yeah, I'm gonna stay single, man. I'm gonna stay single, bros.
Yeah, again, this is the problem with
Shit's
Ayesha Curry.
crazy,
She's
man.
acting as if she was going to be like this big time celebrity if she had not met Steph Curry. That's the issue. But hindsight is 2020, so it's easy to say that you would have done X, Y, and Z simply because you are rich. But really, if I wouldn't have went to Grant High School, I would have became the #1 point guard in the city of Sacramento.
Stop the cap.
But again, these things with Ayesha Curry kept coming about, and almost, it seems like almost every few months she goes on to some podcasts and she's really, really disrespecting Steph Curry. And to Steph Curry's point, he's nothing like Ayesha Curry. He's very respectful.
Yep.
He never talks about her in a, devastating way or in a pejorative way, despite the fact that she does this. And this is what has caused so many women to question her.
But at this point, you're embarrassing him because it's like every interview you want to let it be known you're not happy. Then let somebody else marry him. Let somebody else live the lavish lifestyle. Let somebody else make him happy. What you thought was gonna happen marrying a basketball player? You thought he was gonna be home every single day? No, bro. That's what comes with the game.
And the thing is, if he was home every day, that would have ended the relationship. Disagree with me all you want, but I believe that the biggest killer of marriages is when people move in together. And I know that might sound crazy, but I think that when you see the person every single day, you live with them, you see, you just interact with them too much, it tends to lose the spark. Because think about it, when you get into a relationship with someone, it's interesting. Or when you're getting to know someone, you want to know how they are, you want to know their personality. There's a sense of mystery there, especially when it comes to women. Women like that sense of, oh, let me find out. Especially when you're a guy that doesn't really show much. But you still manage to be interesting without yet showing too much of yourself. It keeps that I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, once you get into a relationship and you see how the person is every day, that mystery eventually will disappear with time. It just will disappear, and that's that honeymoon phase, which is what people call it, the honeymoon phase. Sorry. Will disappear, right? And I believe that's one of the biggest killers of relationships. But in this, circling back to Steph Curry and Ayesha, I actually think that the fact that he's a football player and the fact that maybe he doesn't spend every single day at home, or the times that he does stay at home aren't too long. Maybe he spends 3-4 hours with 2 hours of the day with I'm just speculating. It's actually good. Because you're always wondering, she's not overstimulated by his presence, if that makes sense. I believe that still, it keeps the honeymoon phase alive, or that interest alive, because you're never stagnant. The man is never stagnant. He's not always at home, just wandering about and not doing anything productive.
I would be meal prepping for that man, doing everything he got to do. You on interviews talking about how, in other words, you're miserable. You act like you want to go cheat.
Now, this lady is interesting because she's saying something that a lot of ladies think. Why don't you just leave the guy, let somebody else marry him, and take care of him? I mean, that's just what you should do, because every time you're talking about this guy, you are insinuating the worst. And it also seems like you're a lady who wants to cheat. Now, again, guys, people have been speculating this for a long time on the internet. Like Ayesha Curry is, showing her body off. She's losing all this weight.
I wouldn't be surprised if they end up breaking up soon in the future. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, already most of these marriages do end up in divorce. But just talking about this case, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Steph breaks up with her in the future.
She's hanging out by herself in Toronto. Like, clearly this lady feels that she's lost out, so she wants to experience certain things. And I believe that because she has a husband like Steph Curry, let's say, for example, that she was to cheat, she's probably betting on the fact that, okay, well, he's not going to leave me if I do cheat. It doesn't matter.
We'll see.
Woo! But again, the signs are there. If a woman is talking about this sort of stuff kind of out in the open, and especially if you are a high value man, you are a man that makes a lot of money. And again, Kevin Samuels was saying the same thing deeper into that video. She doesn't respect the position that Steph Curry has. While we are so enamored by the fact that he's the greatest shooter of this generation, you know, he's an excellent basketball player.
Yeah.
She doesn't look at him in the same vein, and that's the issue. But he looks at her.
Of course she doesn't, because it goes back to what I was saying. She sees him every day, and she sees him as her husband. She doesn't see him as the Steph Curry. She just sees him as, oh, that's my husband. You know, the one that I sleep next to. I've probably seen him in embarrassing positions, doing embarrassing things, or doing something that people would find cringy. But that's because she's his wife. Us as just spectators or fans of Steph Curry, we only see the football player, so we're enamored by this, you know, superstar, amazing athlete, multi-millionaire, businessman. But she just sees him as the husband.
Her as if she's the best thing since white rice. And so now these rumors have continued to, you know, kind of fester about, you know, both of them, her willingness to stay in the marriage, speculating when the marriage is going to end, because most people think it will end soon, and all of that. But nobody ever had any confirmation of infidelity happening until...
Who is the
6ix.
biggest name girl you've ever fucked?
If I lie, do I get sued for defamation?
Who's the most famous girl you ever fucked?
Yes, you know.
Ayesha Curry.
Wow.
No. 6ix has been going on a run recently, and he hasn't said not one lie. Hate him or love him, you know, wherever you stand, he's been going viral for, you know, just pointing out double standards when it comes to the how they treated him versus other rappers. And in that process, he's been saying a lot of things that are true. I haven't caught him saying one lie ever since he's been popping up right now. So we don't know how much of this is true, but if it is, this would be career ending to Ayesha Curry. I'll say that. Not that she has a career anyway, but maybe.
Tekashi 6ix9ine goes to Neo's stream, and Neo asks him, who is the biggest star that you've ever clapped cheeks with? And he says, well, am I going to get sued? And, you know, he then goes out to say it's Ayesha Curry. Now, I don't know if this is true, and it may not be true, but Here is what I know.
Yeah.
And this is for sure, that Tekashi 6ix9ine, or almost every female that he has dealt with, has some level of receipts that he can prove.
And also, it's just a random name for him to say, you know, because no one would think 6ix9ine and Steph Curry in the same sentence, or 6ix9ine and Ayesha Curry in the same sentence. So the fact that he said that kind of makes people think like, wait, he is kind of going viral right now for saying the truth. And that's a very random name for him to say. And then the way that she's been acting recently, like O'Shea just said recently, you know, she's been dressing up more revealing, been going out more, and the way that she embarrasses her husband, Steph, it kind of makes it feel more believable to a degree. But, you know, it could still be false, obviously.
Okay, that he did this. And he typically shows somebody like DJ Academics. He typically shows, you know, people in the industry, or he could be trolling. But let's say that he's not trolling, and this rumor gets out there, people believe it. Well, then why would they believe this sort of rumor? They would believe this sort of rumor because simply of how she behaves. It's believable. And so this is what I kind of want to tell to women out there, you know, that you are in a relationship with a guy and you can be faithful to the guy. But if you're the person that has an attitude like Ayesha Curry has, and it's bad and it's terrible, and you're humiliating your man in the public, it is so easy for somebody to go out and say, you know what? You as a lady are exhibiting all these qualities. So yes, it's true. You are doing this to Steph. Now you can come out and get in front of it and say it's not true, but people would like to believe this because typically Tekashi 6ix9ine, from what I know, doesn't like really lie on himself.
Yep.
But you've put it out there by how you acted. And so now everybody can go and say, oh, she's cheating on her husband. And he can get mad about it and like, yo, my wife isn't cheating on me. Stop the show, although he wouldn't know.
Woo!
But if you didn't want people to...
I don't think Steph should even reply to this though. I don't think he should. Just, you know, yeah, it's just not worth it.
Believe that, then why do you act the way you do? All that you had to do was act like a lady and be respectful to your husband and to not drag or dog him. And then if somebody were to say this, you slept with Steph Curry's wife, hey, we would easily be able to shoot that down. Like, what? Like, no, there's no way that she did that he's lying. And let me tell you this, he wouldn't even try it either because people just wouldn't believe him. And he know it wouldn't be true. And let's say, for example, it was true, he'd had to show undeniable evidence. Now, in this case, we're most likely not going to get undeniable evidence, and he could get sued if it's false. But the reality is that she's been acting like this the whole entire time. And so people are going to have a right to go and run with this particular story, although I can't verify the validity of it.
Right.
Now, if it is true, this is where it's going to be crazy.
Crazy though.
You see, people tend to like opposites of what they already have. Let's look at Ayesha Curry, for example. If this were true, fundamentally, it would prove something. That she wants the provider guy, who is Steph Curry. He's safe. He's an NBA All-Star. He's a man that's a Christian, all of this stuff. A man that checks all the boxes, pays the bills.
Yeah.
But a man that you may not find exciting, a man that you feel is holding you back. He's giving you a good soft life, but obviously there's something that you could do in the streets. So you're missing that part of the streets. Okay? Now, if that woman goes out and gets a dude that's completely different from the man that you are, if she's having a sex relationship with him, then it makes sense. It makes a whole lot of sense why she would mess with a guy like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I mean, they do say that opposites attract, right? But I mean, goddamn, 6ix9ine? I mean, 6ix9ine. Look, I don't really like to judge guys by appearance. Like, because, you know, I'm a guy as well and I'm straight. But as a guy, I can also realize when another man is attractive or handsome, let me put it that way. And bro, I just don't really see like Ayesha, you know, risking a marriage, like the long marriage, successful marriage with Steph Curry to get with 6ix9ine. Unless let's just entertain that this happened. Maybe it happened before she met Steph, but even then that wouldn't make sense because I think 6ix9ine only became famous in like 2018 or 2007, somewhere around there. And by then, if I'm not mistaken, Ayesha was already with Steph, and Steph was already Steph Curry, you know. So I don't see it. But yeah, opposites, they do say the opposites attract.
He probably is exciting to her, and yes, that's what she needed to, you know, get her, you know what, wet and all of that stuff.
Right.
Got him. And ultimately, the rumor is out there, and again, it could be fake. But when you're Ayesha Curry and you've been making all of these problems for yourself and for your husband, then yeah, I mean, people are likely going to believe it. And the reason why they're going to believe it, it's your fault. Woo!
Yep. Guys, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure to leave a like on this video and also subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subs by April. And I appreciate every single one of you that is supporting me. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. I'm out. Peace.